Story 1. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I don't care about her dreams? My wife wants to be an influencer on TikTok and YouTube. She's been creating mommy content and content about her day-to-day life. When she told me this is something she wanted to do, I didn't have a problem with. I only said that I don't want our children, 4 months and 4 male and 2 female, in any of her content. I didn't monitor her channel because it didn't really seem necessary. I recently watched her channel because I thought it would be cute to see what she does in her day-to-day life. I found our children's faces in almost all of her content. I told her straight up she needs to remove all of her content. She said that she knew I wouldn't agree, but she doesn't think this is a big deal. I don't like children content. I feel like a lot of the time when you see that children make profit, they become less of your kids and more of a product, and your interactions become more performative. And I can see the same thing has happened in her because she posts a video of her getting our 2-year-old out of a tantrum and how she deals with it. But how was your first instinct to react and hold a camera whilst our baby is crying? She started crying, saying that she built this up and this is her dream and deleting her content will ruin it. And I said, I simply don't give an F. If you don't delete it, I will consider a divorce. I know a lot of people have children on their social media, and I don't mind an Instagram or Facebook post, but to make videos seems too intimate to share. She told her friends and even hinted on her social media accounts that she has an over-controlling and narcissistic husband that doesn't want her on social media and is currently being ridiculed by her friends. Am I being overly controlling or narcissistic? Edit. When someone asked what kind of content, the content isn't really harmful, just her feeding them and playing with them, but the 2 types of videos I have a problem with is her recording our children tantrums, and our 2-year-old still doesn't like clothes, and we're trying to get her to wear them more, but her house can be hot, so she's in a diaper a lot. I don't like the videos of our daughter in her diapers. So, I don't necessarily think that you're an a-hole, and I don't even necessarily think that your wife is an a-hole. I don't know if there is an a-hole in this situation. I'm not a parent. I don't know these things necessarily, so take my opinion for what you will. Yeah, I think it's okay for you to not want your children on social, not just social media, but basically being put up on TikTok and stuff as part of a product. It's a video. Your wife, says this is her dream. She clearly wants to make something of this and get views and all that, and it does feel a little bit like forcing these kids into something that they don't even understand necessarily, and I can see where someone would be uncomfortable with that. I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing or not. I personally, if I had kids, wouldn't want to be putting them up on social media and stuff. So I can understand your view. I can understand others' views, but I think the most important thing is that both parents communicate and have an understanding. And when she started off and you said, hey, I totally support you, just please don't have our kids on there, and then she lied to you and did it anyway, that's kind of an a-hole move. Even if she genuinely doesn't believe it's harming the kids whatsoever, she shouldn't be lying to you about that. And maybe your reaction was a little harsh, saying, look, take it all down or I'll consider a divorce. I don't know if it went, from 0 to 60 that fast in the actual discussion, but it comes off a little intense here. So most I would say is, this is just a situation where people need to communicate a little bit better, and that's oftentimes the case in many relationship-related things. So I'm gonna say no a-holes, I hope. Story 2. Her gay friend ended our marriage. Today, after 8 years of marriage, I will serve divorce papers to my wife, who is also the mother of my 3 children. All these years, our marriage was fantastic/marvelous. We traveled to more than 30 countries, lived in a large home that I purchased before the marriage and still completely owns, bought our dream cars, and saved a significant sum of money for our retirement and for our children's future plans. Things began to go south when her gay friend, who was homeless, came to stay with us. His stay lasted 6 months. He replaced me the day he arrived. She spends more time with him than I do, and twice a week they go out for dinner, making me the babysitter. Even my children are becoming distant from me because of how much time she spends with them. He crossed the boundary when he uploaded a picture of my wife and him kissing in a restaurant on Instagram. When I questioned her, he told me not to worry because he is a gay. When I further questioned her, she started calling me an incel, homophobe, etc. She began to spend more time with him, like she acts like I don't even exist. Possibly a dozen of their images have already been posted on Instagram by him. I lost all my patience when she said that she was going on a foreign vacation with him, just the two of them, and that the money would come from our rainy fund, to which I would be contributing 6 times as much as she would, given that I make 6 times as much as she does, and that he would be contributing eggs. I've already spoken to a lawyer, divided my assets, and established an irrevocable trust so she don't take more than reserved. I will be kicking them out of my house. Both have never respected my boundaries. I had already tried to communicate with her multiple times, but every time she denies things and calls me incel, homophobic, blah blah. Note, many people believe that this post is fake and that I simply copied it from another one that was published months ago. I'm not lying to anyone for any purpose. I simply want to share my feelings. For that reason, I uploaded it here, and I've read comments on this page from people who claim that their partner's gay friends have crossed their boundaries and caused similar things to happen to them. I have no hatred for LGBT people. Okay, I think that there might be both people in the wrong here, because I don't know if you're like this in person or not, but at the very least, the way you're writing this, you come across very unpleasant. Maybe it's just the way I'm reading and interpreting it, and if that's the case, I apologize. But the way you're just like, Our life was perfect. We went traveling very much. I bought her a big house and the car that she liked and saved up money, and she doesn't like, it seems like you are basing how successful and good your relationship was on how successful you are with your house and this and that. Like, you have a lot of possessiveness over your accomplishments and what you've done and everything. So I don't know if that's how you're approaching the relationship, but it's not a healthy way to go about things necessarily. Maybe you're just doing this in hindsight, like feeling like you've been cheated on and all this stuff, and so you're just putting it that way in the story. So maybe that's not how you did it, and if so, I am sorry for coming to that, judging you like that. As far as the, her calling you incel and homophobic, that's not nice at all. Though I do have to say, I don't think that this guy said that he was a gay. I think he probably just said he was gay. Calling someone a gay sounds like something that a homophobic person would say, or someone being very, I don't think that you were using that, in a funny way. I don't know. It sounds like maybe she's cheating. I don't know. I can't say. I'm only getting your point of view. But it just seems like I don't think the relationship's as marvelous as you think it is. I think there are some underlying problems, and I think maybe both of you should address it and communicate more. So, I don't know. There are probably some a-holes here, but I'm not gonna say who. Story 3. Lunch Thief's Just Dessert. Years ago, I had a lunch thief. About the 12th time I complained to HR about people stealing my lunch, mandatory reporting every 3rd or 4th instance, I was sitting and not a damn thing was being done, and I still had to go buy something to eat. I was crabbing to my doctor at the yearly checkup, and he got a smile saying, "You're constipated then." I was dumb and said, "No, why?" He wrote me a prescription for some holy F laxative with instructions to mix it in with your meal for maximum effect, at which point I knew the plan. I wish I could say they crapped their pants, but no, they ate my sandwich with special avocado sauce. About an hour after lunch, I went to HR and reported 2 things. 1, my lunch was stolen again, and 2, my medication was stolen. HR: So you got hit by the lunch thief again and your medicine was in the bag? Me: Yes, I have some digestive problems and my doctor prescribed a powerful laxative and advised me to mix it in with my midday meal. HR going white: You what? Me smiling. I mixed in a prescription-grade laxative with my food per doctor's orders. Well, being that stealing prescribed medication is a criminal offense, the police were called and found the lead man from a department over absolutely crapping his brains out. He was furious and accused me of poisoning his food. I asked, at which point did you get the idea that food was for you? Continued, furthermore, now I no longer have my medication I was prescribed for my condition. It was about this time he knew he effed up and shut his mouth until he got a lawyer, or so I'm told. Small town. One of my buddies from high school took his position. I can make and eat my hoagies, and I have no clue where Lunch Thief went after his fines and community service. I don't believe this story. I think you're an a-hole for making up a story, probably. Maybe you didn't. But no, what doctor is going to prescribe, like, clinical grade laxatives? Because let me tell you, sneaking people laxatives can be dangerous. It can lead to dehydration if they're not familiar. Like, no, I don't think a doctor would prescribe Superlax to some unsuspecting victim and that you mix in with your food and stuff. No, I don't believe this. This sounds like something that you made up, after you finished your math homework or something. I don't know. I just don't give people laxatives. And yeah, the person accused you of poisoning them, you did. You put medicine in there, not with the intent to eat it at all. You put it in there with the intent to do it to that person. And I'm pretty sure that they could, like, look at your records and be like, oh, by the way, have you been taking your laxative? You didn't up your prescription or get this or that. Like, And what laxative are you supposed to mix in with your sandwich? I don't know. This all strikes me as so very, very fishy and made up. So, and I know, I mean, look what I do. We talk about these stories, and God, so many of them have to be made up, I'm sure, but some of them are a little better about hiding it, don't you think? I'm having real trouble buying this one. So I don't know. Believe it if you want. I mean, yeah, a person stealing your lunch, that sucks. That's really dumb. But the thing you do is you put on, like, a bunch of, like, really bad hot sauce, and then you hide in the closet, and when they sneak in and bite into your sandwich and start, like, steam is shooting out of their ears, and they're like, boo, and you jump out and you go, ha ha, and, you do that. Don't make someone poop themselves. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.